He's probably his most proudest one. Again, congratulations, Nick.
During his retirement remarks, the Speaker of the House referenced Uncle Nick Micozzie, and quite a few of us have come to know him by that nickname, Uncle Nick. It has a special meaning for me. Nick sits right next to me on the floor of the House, and I was the luckiest freshman in the House of Representatives to sit next to a person who had been there for so long, and not only that, had learned so much. Nick told me my first day, he said, it's going to take you 2 years to figure out where the bathrooms are in this place. And those words of wisdom kept coming the entire time we served together. I was extremely lucky to be with him on the floor of the House through many tough votes. One in particular recently was the transportation vote. Nick was made chairman of that committee and steered a $1 billion infrastructure improvement through the House, through the Senate, and then got it signed by the governor. An incredible feat of legislative ability in the difficult times where we often see gridlock. That's the thing we're going to miss most about Nick in Harrisburg, is his ability to get things done, to work with everybody, and to actually move his district and the entire state forward. On a personal note, Nick would always talk to me about his family. He would talk about his 3 kids. I don't know how many hundreds of great-grandkids he has now, but I saw pictures of each and every one of them. That was the thing that always stood out to me. Nick's family comes from West Philadelphia originally. He was married at the same parish my grandparents were married at, St. Donata's, and we felt the same way about family, and Nick showed me not only what it meant to be a good representative, but also what being a good family man over the years can do.
Nick, I don't know any other words to say than what Bob Hope said, and that's thanks for the memories. Thanks for all the memories of your public service, for being a mentor to me through the Knights of Columbus and getting me involved in politics. I remember being there the first night when you ran against Scott Casper. I think we were in the bottom of the Columbus Club, and there was probably about 15 people, including your family, which is kind of large. But we had some good times. There was a lot of good friends from the Knights of Columbus, Joe and Agnes, and Al Consalvi, Joe Hinkle and Teresa, and a number of other people. But thank you very much. I remember the night that I was elected Grand Knight, and my wife wanted to know if I was going to be out with Nick Micozzie every meeting night till about 2 a.m. But thank you for all your help and your mentorship that you gave to me. Thank you.
Let me first tell you, Nick and June, what a great honor and a pleasure it is for me to participate in this tribute to you, Nick, a great legislator, an exemplary Upper Darbian, and a man whose main concern for all of his life has been the well-being of his constituents. When Tommy asked me to participate in this celebration, he said, "Don't worry, Frank, you've done this a million times, not a problem." Well, it is a problem. For you see, to me, Nick Micozzie has been an institution in the town I've chosen as my home for these many years. Whenever there's been a problem or an issue, you always knew that Nick was in a position to address the issue or solve the problem. And he provided that great comfort zone for all of us. When Nick first began his political life in Delaware County and in Upper Darby, quite frankly, I didn't know his first name for 2 years because everybody I knew referred to him as that damn Micozzie. Nick has been legendary as a legislator, as a representative of Delaware County, and as a man. And I've known legendary people, but I've never known one with the humility of Nick and always knowing that his family always came first. So Nick, my friend, you may be retiring from the General Assembly of Pennsylvania, but you will never retire as the icon that I have come to know as one of my best friends lo these many years. God bless you, and keep on dancing.
Nick, I want to congratulate you on your retirement. You sure have earned it. I look forward to serving in the seat that you served in for so many years and did so much for this community. I want to carry on your legacy. I am even working on a couple of things that I know that people respect you for. I'm actually working on the old pull of the suspenders for when we go after money for the area. and you'll have to teach me how to perfect that as well. Your knowledge has been an incredible resource for me during this campaign, and I hope further into the future. But this is about you, Nick. Go enjoy yourself with June, and I really appreciate everything you've done for myself and for the Upper Darby community as a whole.
I'm Don Bonnet, President of Upper Darby Township Council. I've had the great pleasure of knowing Nick Micozzie for more than 30 years and serving with Nick as a fellow councilman for several years on Upper Darby Township Council. In my early years as a councilman, I would look to Nick as a mentor seeking his advice and wisdom. To this day, I continue to value Nick's counsel as an experienced and skillful statesman. I've always been amazed by Nick's tireless devotion of time and effort to the people of Upper Darby and the other communities he serves as the state legislator for the 163rd District of the State House of Representatives. We have heard the expression, where there is a will, there is a way. When it comes to solving the big issues, Nick has always had the will and he's always found the way. I don't know of a single elected official, state, county, or local, that runs for office in the neighborhoods of Nick's legislative district that does not seek and treasure his endorsement. I consider Nick a friend for whom I have great respect and admiration. I, and on behalf of my wife Donna, want to take this opportunity to wish you, Nick Micozzie, a long, healthy retirement and many years of enjoyment, along with your wonderful wife, June. Thank you for your guidance and friendship through the years, and your so many years of service to the people of the 163rd.
Hi folks, my name is Ed Martin. I'm the Vice President of Clifton Heights Borough Council, and I'm also proud to say I'm the Chairman of the Republican Party in Clifton Heights. I first had the pleasure of meeting Nick Micozzie in 1967 when I joined the Knights of Columbus de La Salle 590. Went up there one night right after I joined, walked in, and there was an amazing party going on. I felt out of place because I didn't have a ticket. And I looked at the corner of the bar, and there was what I found out to be later Nick Micozzie and a good friend of mine, Eddie McKeag, talking. So feeling out of place, I turned around and left. Heard somebody chase me out the door. That's not a good sign in some of the places I used to hang. I turned around and it was Nick Micozzie, who I didn't know, grabbed me and says, "Whoa, you're a member of this club. No matter what's going on inside, you're always welcome at the bar." Brought me back in, and that's how I formed a relationship with Nick Micozzie. 11 years later, I had the extreme privilege of placing Nick's name in nomination for state representative in the 163rd District, which was a wonderful thing to do given what he has accomplished in all those years. So I wish the best to Nick Micozzie, to his family, to everybody. I know Nick to be a good friend and an excellent family person, and I just could not wish him any more best wishes.
Nick and June, congratulations on your retirement together, and thank you so much for all that you've done for the 163rd District, and particularly my hometown, Lansdowne. I first met Nick back in the early 90s when the Lansdowne train station caught on fire and was threatened with demolition. And I hadn't met Nick, but had heard lots of stories, had heard stories about, well, Nick's not approachable, Nick's not this, Nick's not that. And when I first met Nick, in 5 minutes it dispelled those notions about Nick was unapproachable. Nick has turned out to be one of the most approachable elected officials that I've ever met in my life, and I'm proud to call Nick a friend, and we'll miss him in Harrisburg and in Clifton Heights, and just being able to pick up the phone and call him to talk about issues, and to talk not only political issues and community issues, but personal issues. Nick and I have shared a lot over the years in terms of triumphs and challenges, and Nick has, I'd like to think, and I hope that Nick feels this way, he's been a real mentor to me in helping me to navigate the world of politics. My favorite thing with Nick is whenever you have a confrontation or an issue that needs to be resolved, and I think that this would be a great thing for all elected officials to remember, is Nick always says, bring them in, let's sit them down and talk to them. And it's always worked that Nick has resolved issues that seemed unsurmountable, like no one I've ever met. And I've worked with a lot of elected officials in the city and across the state, but never anyone like Nick Micozzie. And from a personal standpoint, Nick has always been there for me personally. My father passed away. One of the first phone calls I got was from Nick, and he was very supportive and philosophical about it. I'll never forget that. I remember a project that we did in Lansdowne that involved a whole load of school kids in restoring the Lansdowne World War Monument and World War II Memorial. And when the project was over, Nick invited the kids and myself and their teacher to come to Harrisburg. And one of the imprints that I will always have is all of these kids standing around Nick's desk. And Nick was just smiling ear for ear, ear to ear. And my daughter was sitting on his lap, and she was probably 4 or 5 years old. And Nick just grabbed onto her and just held her. And I think it's rare to find a public official who's willing to bare their soul and their kindness to anyone who comes into their office. And I think that Nick is a role model for anyone who wants to run for office, not only on the public side, but on the private side. And I would see Nick's eyes light up when he would talk about going dancing with June on Friday nights and how excited he was to do that. And there's just, you don't get the sense from Nick that there was a real political agenda there. He was just a genuine person who wanted to help with other people and was given the gift of being able to connect to people on a very even-handed, fair side where he was empathetic to their concerns and their issues that they were facing. And I will miss Nick sorely, and I hope that Nick is around for many, many years to share stories with and to talk about the future, because Nick is always about the future. And I hope we'll get to sit down and bring other people in and resolve issues.
Congratulations, Nick. I wish you all the luck in the world. I hope you enjoy your retirement. I'd just like to say I remember when I was an ice cream man in Westbrook Park. I was 7 years old, started working, and I used to serve Nick and June and the family ice cream every summer. And since then, my wife and my 6 children, and now my 14 grandchildren, all are finally grateful for what you did for everybody in Upper Darby, especially in Westbrook Park. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Joe Kelly. I'm Mayor of Clifton Heights. On behalf of the citizens and myself, I'm here to say, Nick, thank you for a job well done. You cared about Clifton Heights, you cared about us. Good luck in your retirement. You're always welcome in the borough of Clifton Heights. Thank you for a job well done.
I go back with Nick, I guess 1972 is when we first started having a political relationship, and 40-some years of long friendship. I can remember him clearly as a fighter. I remember Mayor Kane, the first mayor of Upper Darby, used to attempt to bully him. And then one day Nick just did something that Sonny didn't expect. He hit back, and he hit hard. Nick was always the guy that you wanted in a foxhole with you if there was a battle. He'd never leave a friend, never desert a friend. He's a man of integrity. His word was his bond, and that handshake was better than any contract that any attorney would write. They're going to miss him in Harrisburg, but I'm glad he's coming home. Knowing Nick, he'll never quit, he'll never retire, and he'll always be there for a friend. And I'm glad to say that he's been a friend of mine for over 40 years. I wish him and his wife and family the best. He certainly gave the best years of his life to this county and to this Commonwealth. Nick Micozzie is a gentleman, indeed a true gentleman.
There's 3 things I could say about Nick Micozzie. One, he's a true gentleman, a great public servant, and a great family man. Everyone and everywhere Nick has been or touched, people remember him. He's always done the right thing. He's always wanted to help people, and it shows. And thank you for your 40 years of public service to the residents of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Nick, I'm really disappointed that I won't be able to come down to your retirement, your official retirement dinner. You with selection of the first day of December, you have eliminated, besides myself, the other 1 million deer hunters that will be out in the woods that day, and we're probably too tired to come down to Delaware County. I will be 300, well, no, we're not quite 300, 220 miles from home, and up in the northern part of Tioga County that day. But I just want to say I know, I'm going to miss our telephone calls going back and forth, and Bob, what are you doing for dinner tonight? And I think, well, if you don't have anything, I'll see what I can line up with Sam Marshall and or friends of Sam. And I know that Sam's really going to miss you because you've been there quite a few years. You still got a few years to catch up to me. I've spent 32 years with Sam. So I on the insurance committee, and I know that he will miss me shortly also. I just wanted to say, Nick, it was nice working with you. Appreciated working with you, and also complaining about your lack of funding, about school funding in Delaware County. But and your other complaint, when I talk about somebody, you always say he always speaks nice about you, and I said that's only when he's talking to you. Other than that, I'm not sure. But anyway, Nick, I wish you well. Wish you have a good time and down at the shore with your family and so forth. And I will be joining you shortly.
Well, Nick Micozzie, you are retiring. I never thought you would actually do it. We affectionately call you Uncle Nick. And now, since you have made me the elder statesman in the House for Upper Darby, I will take the role with pride, but you taught me how to do it. Congratulations, happy retirement.
Nick, we look back over your career as state representative and feel honored to have been able to work for someone of such character and integrity. We have watched your dedication and loyalty as you work so hard for your constituents in the 163rd Legislative District, not only locally, but in Harrisburg as well. You held many meetings and worked long hours on projects for your district to make our towns a better place to live for all of us. As hard as you worked as our state representative, your love and devotion to June and your children